and maybe check on my cult, because it's been a hot minute and I should probably feed them. Friends. Turns out I've been doing too much, which feels like a silly thing to say when you're unemployed, have nowhere to go, and have nothing to do. Sure, you'd think pajama days and binge watching shows sounds great, until you realize that none of that is actually relaxing. Instead, you just kind of rot. But not me. Oh no. I have anxiety, which means after 2 months of alternating rage and hurt, sprinkled in with multi-day crying fits, there was only one thing I could do: throw myself headfirst into as much work as humanly possible to distract myself from my feelings while pretending I was being productive and forging right ahead back into burnout. And it wasn't just realizing that I was doing too much, I wasn't actually enjoying what I was doing. I've been riding that last-minute dopamine rush since I was in high school, but unfortunately I'm an adult now and no one is giving me A+ and gold stars. I'm lacking part 2 of the 2-part process. Crank out that essay from midnight until 2 a.m., build that 3D design project you've been ignoring until 15 minutes before class is supposed to start, and then bask in the glory of pulling off quality work and getting that sweet, sweet praise. I convinced myself I was doing the work, which isn't entirely a lie, but I had nothing to show for it. And I wasn't having any fun. I didn't feel good about the things I was making. I've been employed since I was 15, so technically my working life is old enough to drink. So naturally, when it all ended, my first thought was, hey, okay, art career time. Here's the part where we circle back to burnout. I was still making weekly YouTube videos, some of which I liked, others I wasn't really into. I still wasn't actually drawing for myself at any point, and yeah, I used depression as an excuse. I told myself I was feeling my feelings. Which, I was. Okay, fine, I allowed myself to wallow a little bit, and technically I am still feeling those feelings. Even though I hated my job and it made me miserable, not ending things on my terms didn't help. So yeah, the headfirst dive into doing all the things, bad plan. First, I was mourning. Second, I was hurting. Third, I had no idea what I was going to do. Naturally, my first thought was throw yourself into art. Turns out that when you're trying to make a job out of your hobby, you sort of forget that it's all about the long game. I kept making one video a week with the thought that I would get ahead of this imaginary deadline, even though I knew I would wait until the Sunday before it was due to actually get started on the video. And then I'd upload it Tuesday night or Wednesday morning and stall on the next video until the following Sunday. I went through the trouble of designing prints and stickers for an audience I hadn't built yet, and then freaked myself out over starting a Patreon and what I could possibly offer. The only thing I actually managed was destroying my self-confidence. I've seen other people upload videos like mine, starting YouTube at 35, is it too late? And getting thousands of views. I know at some point everybody makes the same sort of content. When you're a watercolorist, there are only so many tips and tricks you can offer, so much advice you can give, so many hacks you can suggest. And yeah, I'm sure as hell not the first person or the only person to start making content in their 30s. But that whole comparison being a trap thing, yeah, that's true. I wasn't happy with what I was making. I was hitting the goals with 0 reward, and it was a few weeks ago when I texted one of my best friends, I am doing too much, to which she immediately replied, you are, but it's probably a symptom of the anxiety you have around not having a job. And if you keep busy, you can't think about it. That's what makes slowing down terrifying. I know that it's the anxiety from not having a job, because every evening when I try to sit down and relax, all of those emotions come back. And because I wasn't making content I enjoyed, the feeling of getting nowhere fast made me doubt whether this whole content creation thing, art career, was worth my time. I know they tell you not to look, but I've seen my metrics. I know my video retention is 15 seconds. Most of it is that my content isn't good. It's not bad, but it's not right. So here I am, trying to slow down. I'm studying video editing so I can improve. I'm watching how my favorite channels film and edit their videos. I don't want to just sit down and say something. I want to have something to say. In the meantime, I'm doing things I enjoy. Lifting, going for walks, doodling in my sketchbook, learning how to roller skate even though I totally biffed it at a skate park and bruised the hell out of both of my palms and my shin. I found a coloring book I don't hate because it's in a smaller format, and I bought this book about drawing adorable chunky kittens because it made me smile. I try to get dressed every day, even if it doesn't happen until mid-afternoon. I don't actually know how to slow down, at least not without feeling guilty. But the good news is I do have an interview coming up which will hopefully lead to a source of monetary income and would go a long way to relieving some of my stress and anxiety. So in the meantime, I'm going to finish my tea and maybe check on my colt because it's been a hot minute and I should probably feed them. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and I will see you in the next one. Bye.